Hello friends, it is your brother Hampton here. If you're watching this on a very tiny screen and you can't see where I am, I'm over on the right side of the video and slightly down. Hi. So I just want to walk you through this routine and how to use it. I've spent a lot of time on it, but it's been around for a while and I understand there's some confusion over how it's supposed to work. So I'm just in front of my computer now, as most of you will be. Some of you will be on your phone, which will look a little bit different, but it'll be essentially the same. So if you're watching this, you're most likely on this page here, the hybrid calisthenics routine. And as you can see, the video I'm recording right now will probably go right here, and I'll change the layout of it a little bit. There might not be gym rings here, for example. That isn't loading. Don't worry. But it's essentially going to be this. So there's 2 to 3 main parts of this routine. First is the exercises. That's what everyone's really looking for here. But we're going to start with number 2 here. I'm going to show you, because when people say, give me a routine, people message me, they mean a program. So it's a schedule when you do your exercises. So here's the one that we follow. This should be hybrid routine 2.0 because I've changed it a little bit. But Monday, you do push-ups and leg raises. Tuesdays, pull-ups and squats. Wednesdays, bridges and twists. So here we have push, pull, legs, core, and back, and some mobility here. Now, for people who are new to this method and new to progressive calisthenics, they think of these exercises as one exercise. So push-ups, you have something in mind. Pull-ups, you have something in mind. And some of you might be saying, well, Hampton, I would like to do this, but I can't do it. These are all different families of exercises. So push-ups, as you'll see in a moment, there are many different types. Pull-ups, there are many different types, from very easy to very difficult. I hope that makes sense, and you'll see it in just a second. But I want to mention that this is a new routine because the old one was, I'm going to scroll through a lot of stuff down here. The old one was actually basically these, where we do them once a week. Now, I explain up here, and I'll explain a little bit more, why we did it once a week. Because it was meant to be done very intensely, and for most people, much more than people realize, I think, that was a great way for them to make progress, because if you hit one exercise hard once a week, you're still working the muscle through other exercises a few times a week. But because so many people were complaining about that and they didn't understand, I decided to double up. So basically every exercise you're doing it twice a week. I hope that makes sense. Let's go back a little bit to the exercises here. So fitness routine, once again, we have all the exercises here. Push-ups, leg raises, squats, pull-ups, bridges, and twist holds. Let's go into push-ups because it's one of the most famous exercises. We'll use that. As you can see here, there's push-up progressions. Now, what do progressions mean? So basically, progressions and regressions are ways to make an exercise easier or harder. So if you think of a barbell, think of a barbell exercise like a barbell squat or bench press. I'm going to say a bench press here because it correlates very nicely with a push-up. You can bench press 40 pounds, or you can bench press 400 pounds, depending on what level you're at. Or you can bench press the bar. There's many different types. This is essentially what they are. So push-ups, the progressions here, they're basically weights on a barbell. So regressions are a way to make an exercise easier, and progressions are a way to make it harder. Just for the sake of simplicity, I call all of these progressions because we progress through them. For almost everyone, I recommend starting on exercise number 1. So in this case, it's wall push-ups. Let's take a look at the tutorial. So you see the different pictures here, and then there's a summary over the exercise, but you go through here. So for each one, you want to click through it, and then you see a video of the exercise. So here's how I'm doing it. Sometimes it's slowed down a little bit, sometimes it's sped up, but that's basically the speed at which I would like people to do them. So it's relatively slow and controlled. Here's an analysis of the exercise. Here are the standards, form cues, tutorials. So let's go through these really quick. The standards, there's some confusion here. But basically, they keep us motivated to hit these different levels. The first thing you want to do is you want to try to do 2 sets of as many as you can. And if you can hit, however many you can, is over or equal to 2 sets of 30, then you've hit level 1. The most important thing right here is level 3. That's the progression standard. When you're able to do 1 set of 50 wall push-ups, again, they look like this, 1 set of 50, rest for a few minutes. This is all explained in the programs page. Rest for a couple minutes, do another set of 50, rest for a few minutes, and then do another set of 50. That's 3 sets of 50. Then you're ready to move on to the next level. So in this case, as we can go back, what's the next level here? Okay, it's incline push-ups. This, again, even if you're very strong, I recommend you start from here because you can build some functional movement patterns. I know that's kind of a buzz phrase, but really the idea is that some people who are strong can do relatively advanced variations, may not have the best technique because their body might have to contort it a little bit to compensate from lack of strength. And even as they get stronger, they may still have those bad movement patterns. So I want everyone to start from the beginning, if at all possible. I know some people won't do it, but if you really want to follow this routine, I suggest you start from wall push-ups. So from here's incline push-ups. And once again, we have the standards, the form cues, and the tutorial. So standards, once again, once you're able to do this, then you can move on to the next level. It's okay to spend several weeks on this. Hope this is all making sense. I'll leave a link or something where you can ask questions in our community later. So what if, let's say you go back and let's say you do wall push-ups, incline push-ups. These, most people go through relatively quickly. Most people go through these in a few weeks, or some people can do them right away. It's totally fine. Everyone goes at their own pace. But let's say you get to something like, knee push-ups. You can do knee push-ups pretty well, but you can't do full push-ups hardly at all. So let's say you're stuck on this. So you go to this place called progression and regression. Here are like the tiny little steps in between. This is where I hope this can answer a lot of questions and help a lot of people, because progression and regression, to make this exercise easier, let's say you can't do the knee push-ups quite yet, then lowering down on your knees and coming up on your toes, to make this exercise harder, that's what you do. To make this exercise easier, a higher base will make this exercise easier. So let's say you're doing this, and similar to incline push-ups, you have a couple blocks underneath your hands here. So you're doing them on a small stool or something. Basically like incline push-ups, incline knee push-ups. That's one way to make it easier. To make it harder, let's say lowering down on your knees and coming up on your toes. So lowering down like this, and then putting your feet down and going up in a full push-up. Lowering down on your toes and then going up in a knee push-up would make it easier. I'll make different videos to explain this, but the whole point is there's different ways you can make these exercises a tiny bit more difficult or a tiny bit more easier as you need. So as you go through all these, you progress, and eventually the goal is to keep going to the final level. Now, I did say this is scalable to almost any fitness level, and even these exercises that are at the end, you can make more difficult. However, I've gotten a lot of questions about these routines. Very few, fewer than 0.1% of the questions I get are about, well, I've mastered the routine. Most people haven't done that yet, or they aren't interested in that. So we'll get to that when we'll cross that bridge when it gets to it. There's ways you can make this exercise much more difficult. For example, just moving a hand underneath the sternum and trying to keep your body straight. These are all really discussions for a different day. Here's my quick getting started guide. I hope it can make sense. Once again, I'll make a link up here for questions and concerns and suggestions, and everyone will have the email and the contact list where they can ask questions. But really, if at all possible, go into one of these, the Facebook group, Discord, or Cultivate. Cultivate, not sure how long they'll be around, but we're going to have an app for this. So Facebook group and Discord can really help. Just ask questions there. You can see other people who are going through this. I really hope this can help you. So you saw how it works for push-ups. Here's all the other exercises. Here's the bonus exercises that I'm going to work on these. These will be things you can supplement to the routine. And if you go down to the bottom, you can see this. You can supplement to this. So that's going to be an update that's coming soon here. Let's see if I can go back here. Well, I'll go down to the bottom. And here you can go to different exercises as well. One more thing. In these routines, some people want to change them up a little bit. Here's something where you can focus on strength without size. Still working on this a little bit. I'm going to leave it here for people who are curious, but this is the main routine here. Here's the reasoning for it. Again, need to update this, add some visuals, add some scientific studies to this. It's based on science and scientific studies, but it takes a while to link them all. And On the other hand, some people want to put on more muscle. Even if you want to put on muscle, I put this here just because it's a common request. I recommend you just do this routine. This is the best overall routine that works for almost everyone. You can build endurance, build strength, build muscle. It'll help you lose weight. As I explained down here, if you want to lose weight, diet plays a huge role. But I hope this can help. I'm just going to upload this video, and I'm going to continue to make new updated tutorials. Hopefully, this is 10 minutes. I want to get it down to like a few minutes to where I can explain it really quickly. But I hope this makes sense. We'll talk soon.